This is the visible transformation of quitting porn. It's a post that I put on my online community that you can find in the description the other day. And these photos are only a year apart. I'll put them up now. And you can tell simply by the way that someone looks, or the way that, the kind of soul that you see inside someone's eyes, that if they're happy or not, or if they're not doing bad things all the time, and if they are. You can tell. If you look at these photos, you can kind of tell there's something else on another level. Yes, on one side I'm probably too fat, and the other side I'm not, but you can kind of tell there's another layer in my eyes that shows you that there is a extreme level of shame and burden and guilt and just like disgust that comes with that. Most guys have a porn addiction, and it's taboo because people are scared that they'll be embarrassed, or people will think of them as just, inferior. But if most guys have this addiction, then why aren't more people talking about it? Because people don't talk about it. I genuinely think that at least 70 to 80% of men, of guys, watch too much porn. And how much is too much? Every week is too much. Every month is too much. It's too much. If you do something every day, like do this, like watch porn, you're addicted. You're properly addicted to it. Like, I'm addicted to caffeine. I'll have caffeine every day. But for example, like if someone took heroin every day, would you say they were addicted to it? I can't say that word. Addicted. Would you say they were addicted to it if they took heroin every day? Yes, obviously, right? It's like fucking class A drug. Porn is a class A drug for your brain. There are so many bad things that it does, to name one of them. It creates an open loop in terms of your intimacy. So basically, when you do watch porn, it doesn't close the loop. I can't remember the scientific term. I remember watching a whole Andrew Huberman podcast on porn. So if you want to find out more from an actual scientist, not a random guy, you can watch that. But there are so many damaging things that it does. One is dopamine. If you don't know about dopamine, basically how it works is that you get a spike in dopamine when you seek something pleasurable, when you seek a goal, or when you seek doing anything that gives you pleasure. So for example, if this is your baseline of dopamine and you're here and you watch porn and you go up, and this is like the best bit, right? You stop and it goes down, but it doesn't just go down to what it was before. It goes down lower. And this is now where you are at. This is your baseline, and this is where you are now at after you've watched porn. It takes time to go back to normal now, because you've given yourself such a high that you haven't worked for. That's the key. You haven't worked for this, and when you stop, it goes down, and it goes down below baseline because you haven't worked for it. Look, people who are like professional athletes and professional boxers, they win a fight. For example, if Mike Tyson wins a boxing match, one of the biggest ones of his life, he will feel on top of the world. The next day, he will be probably the most depressed that he's been in ages, because that dopamine crash is real. And of course, like, I'm not saying to not do those good things. I'm saying to not do those bad things, because dopamine crashes happen when you have a massive spike in these neurochemicals, and then you stop and they go down. So if you do a good thing, you do a good thing that's very pleasurable, you have a crash afterwards, it feels a bit shit, but it's normal because you've still achieved something, right? But you've done a bad thing like watch porn, and then you have a dopamine crash afterwards. That's just lose-lose. At least make it a win-lose. And that's just one of the many bad side effects, many bad downsides. Obviously, I don't want to persuade you that it's a bad thing, because you should already know that it's a fucking awful thing. It's worse than junk food. It's worse than having a binge eating addiction. It's worse than doom scrolling. It's worse. Genuinely, it's worse, because it teaches yourself to not work for something that every single man on this planet wants to do. Every single man on this planet from the age of about 13 wants to fuck. That's just the truth. Every single man wants to. And if you give yourself, and this is talking to me as well, because every now and then, obviously I fall into this trap again. I'm not fucking perfect, I'm not Jesus. But every man falls into this trap. And when you reward something that's so desirable and so intrinsically hardwired in us, it's one of the foundations of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which this guy was like a a psychologist or a philosopher, whatever, and he basically made this triangle, this pyramid of needs, and the bottom is like food. So the most important things like food, shelter, and sex. I'm pretty sure sex is there, or if not, someone said it should be. Food, water, shelter, and like human relations, sex. I'm pretty sure, or it's the second one. But it's very important, okay? So it's very important, and men will take this shortcut that they can do at any time, whenever they want. I've got my iPad here. I could so easily be on porn in 2 minutes, 2 seconds. But because you're taking such a monumental shortcut for one of the most desirable things for males to accomplish, basically everything men do, it always tracks down to getting girls. It really does. If you think about someone who is a professional athlete, they do a lot of it to get attention from women, a lot of the time to get attention from women. If you think of someone who wants to get rich, a lot of the time it is attention from women. And I'm not going to lie and say it's normal. You don't. It's. I feel like ignoring this is quite an unhealthy thing. I'm trying not to ignore it, not to let it control me, but I'm trying not to ignore it because I don't think it's a healthy thing to ignore something that's so intrinsically hardwired in us. Because biologically, we're on this planet to do one thing, to make babies. That's why we're here. We're here to mate. And that is basically the core of every single action that people do. And it's a very, to give you a little tip, it's a very good way of understanding psychology, because everything someone does, you can probably trace it back down to wanting to mate, to wanting to make, to wanting to get close and intimate with someone that way. And men do that, and I used to do that on porn, because basically you don't have any other option. You don't want to take the hard route, because of course you don't, it's easier. But to give you a bit of hope, it is better to take that hard route. It's more rewarding. You'll feel better. Like, I can promise you that you will. Like, it's hard to, like, for example, I've been going to the gym and exercising for the last 8 years consistently, pretty much. And it wasn't an easy thing to do. It would have been much easier to kind of like Photoshop a photo, for example. But the result that you get is a photo instead of a body that you can keep for life. Do you know what I'm trying to say here? Like, it's harder to do, but it's more rewarding. And I think that's a very important message. And I really hope this video doesn't get 5 views, because I think this is a good one. So I hope you found that useful. Join that free community where I can help you personally, and you can join a few like-minded men to help you improve. So I'll talk to you soon, and I hope you found that useful. Bye. Please tell me that was recording this video done.